Hey everyone, it's Erasmian and welcome back to another episode of JumpCraft 2 Rankups completion. This time we're going to be tackling Rankup number 5, which is actually the newer version of the original Rankup 5 that used to be on the server way back in the day. The old Rankup you can see on a practice server called ugis or something like that. The link to both of these servers will be in the description below. So you can check out the old Rankup for yourself, as well as, this Rankup. Let's begin! Okay, so upon first glancing, I've already completed this one because, you didn't need to see me just going through the same agony as before. The climax from the last video was pretty hype, but, it sometimes gets boring and, yapping is minimized when you're fully stressed out and locked in, if you will. I decided to start, usually you should start the chain from here and then kind of line it up on the diagonal to make it sure. I usually like to, never mind, I'll be right back. Usually I like to chain it from, oh my gosh, chaining it from, So starting the chain from here, I beat this rank up, I promise. Can't you see my number? So you want to chain it like in that sort of way. And then I like to do some kind of a pessy timing for this one. You can, for the most part, it's pretty relaxed. Watch out for this gap. I fell into that gap more times than I care to remember. Yeah, no, this guy is a little bit easier than the last one, but then you just hop down here, get into this ladder action. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention in the beginning of the video that I changed my keybinds compared to last time. I was playing on HPK Network. Oh no, OJ server cringe anyways. And I was having trouble with my keybinds messing me up in terms of like whenever my sprint key was engaged or not. But yeah, you want to, I guess, move it like that. But do I want to play a game? Maybe. But yeah, this is the part this is floor 1, as was often delineated. Usually what you want to do with this one is chain it kind of like this. Because this jump especially is kind of deceptive in terms of how easy it looks, but you can do it one of two ways. Yogasen has it, my beloved sensei, in their tutorial, his tutorial, to, line up the jump kind of like this. You can always use speed, but I'm trying to make it in use of not speed. So there's two ways that you can go about this jump. What I usually like to do is start it from around here, so I can just chain it like that. If I can, actually get it. So starting it from here, don't start it too far back so as you can get the most of your elevation momentum so you can clear the block a lot more easily. If only I could get it. I think I'm just not used to. There we go. I had to, separate my, my hand from my mouse pad. Anyways, and what my sensei Yogasen and a couple others have suggested as well is to just do any combination of max force momentum, but at the same time also kind of like leaving a bit of tick running room. SPF had a good strat for this as well, but yeah, you do have to run for at least a couple of ticks before landing in this regard. So that's another helpful parkour tip. You want to usually leave as much like tick running room, like you want to be able to, tap space barely, like tap it. And with this one, yeah, you could go here, but you can also just skip pretty easily to this section, hop down here. What I found that's also really useful from the tutorial is when you tap jump, you can just like do that same turn strat that we use for jamming in the Rankup 4 to help with. It was helpful. I didn't make it a point to the tutorial because I was so done with that section, but in Yogasen's tutorial, you can see that jamming, in this case, I don't jam, I head hitter in some variant because there is that extra elevation with the stair, but with his case, jamming and then turning in so as to, mitigate that travel. And you can jam it or head hitter it and then continue along. I'll be right back. So what you can essentially do is this is gonna probably become a recurring gag in the video. Well, now that I remembered that I was mentioning it as I was climbing up the ladder, ADHD moment, I switched my sprint and attack keys for the sake of parkour. There we go. See, you can chain that. You can also head hitter it, I believe, or like some combination of pessy. I think you can pessy this just fine. I can't remember what kind of tick timing, but it feels like again, and with these jumps you can just hop them and strafe around and kind of try and land them right on the edge. It's pretty straightforward. With this one, you kind of want to hit it on the diagonal. I recommend using crouch, shifting the crouch key. And something that I've also helped Yogason, you know, because he's a baller, can just like skip all the way right to this. But since I'm a scrub, I tend to crouch right on the outer edge. So you see how there's like the outer edge of this ladder, and you want to also be at the very corner over here. So like here, and then tapping the spacebar helps a lot with momentum. I'm still like, you know, guilty of where I still press like and hold spacebar because I'm lazy. Here, okay, here is where you want to do head hitter timing and strafing it right above as soon as you can, because otherwise you end up, you look like you're bobbing up and down, because that means you've missed it and you need to drop down. Here it's relatively tricky, but it's another, like, it's not like this level is pretty much full of not just head hitter jumps, but jumps where you hit your head, which are different. So this is another example of a jump where you hit your head. I think, although I think that could also but here, running along the diagonal, you can basically just run this up if you time it well enough. So same with this one, because you do have that extra ledge, which gives you this extra freedom. This jump you're definitely going to want to chain. And again, hit crouch, because that ladder section or stair section is tricky. So hit up on the ladder, climb up on the vine. You could totally do this all the time. So jump. I like to Pessy this one, and because I still, you know, I'm a bit shaky on my legs, I tend to, you know, crouch and Pessy that as well. For some reason, Pessying like a different variance, not max, but like usually like -3, -4 ticks, something to that effect. I like to do as a safety, if you will. But now here we are, floor 2. You would just drop down here, watch out for the holes. This is the section that kind of, you know, is a real pain, because not only does it involve a lot of head hitter and hitting your head jumps, you want to, you know, line that up as best as you can and hit your head against that. But it also involves a lot of holes where you can fall through. This first one, you want to be able to mitigate by, doing the following. Once you crouch over here, this one's the trickiest timing. I think it's something to the effect of about 3 ticks. I played this on this server with Minecraft Parkour Mod once, and this is the trickiest time to get. But until you get this timing right, I recommend that you do it from the edge here. So see, even now I'm still kind of like, still finicky with the timing, but I saved the jump and it saved me from going back to the start. And as you can see, I'm still not the greatest. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm not sure who watching remembers this kind of stuff or is old enough to remember this kind of stuff, or, you know, had old enough technology to remember this kind of stuff, because we got to include everyone here, because there's all the people going, oh my goodness, I had old technology and I'm like 12, so, you know, might as well include that group. But back when schools used to have computer labs, way back in the ancient times, that when mice or mouses, I can't remember what the plural term for it is, back when mice used to have, like, instead of being like the fancy laser optical things that they are now, which, you know, granted are still very smooth and very nice to play with, but, you know, it doesn't, it's interesting to, you know, to recall a time when they used to have these little rubber balls that you could put into the socket, and those ones you could use like practically anywhere. Optical mice are, you know, limited to the surfaces that you can use them on, but these mice with the balls, man, you could use them on just about anything. You could use them on a carpet, you could use them your desks, your freaking, I don't know. And we're back to floor 2, chat. This is the tricky jump again. Back to this this tricky jump. Another useful thing if you want to like help with that, and especially in 1.8 and earlier versions before the combat update, the equivalent for versions 1.9 and above is using shields to, you know, move much more slowly. But you can use a sword to tap and bring yourself to a much more precise location than you want to. See, it's a tricky 3-tick timing that's kind of scary. It's probably my sensei said it was the hardest jump of this entire floor, so maybe if I run it up a little, there we go. To practice this kind of a jump, we can disconnect and then jump back on here. You can hit /nav, and with /nav you can go to like various different parkour servers that people have uploaded maps of into here to then, you know, check out, in this case, the current Rankups, which we can go to 5, and then we can go into practice mode, which we can't go in on the other server. You can then go back to the section that you want to practice, set a new checkpoint with this, right click it. You can use this to practice a jump multiple times until you're confident enough that you can basically get this jump right or bork it and not have to risk losing any progress and that sort of thing. Without really any consequence, you can enable flight, but at the same time it won't give you really any rewards. It's just a practice server, which will be convenient for harder and harder rank ups, but that's the gist of it. Pessi head hitter is your best friend regardless of the tick count. Here it only really gets to be particularly useful in future sections. Here you don't really need it. Here is somewhere whenever you have a 2-block ceiling, or 2BC as they like to abbreviate it, and you need to be able to make a jump that you normally have to head hitter from here. A very useful strat that's also really important for beginning is pressing space either 1, 2, or 3 ticks before the jump. Like when crouching on the back end of a block, you kind of crouch on the back, you have a 2-block ceiling. Do it like that. This one, with these ones, you have to like time it more precisely, but especially with that kind of a jump where, that jump from there to about there, you can use Pessi head hitter where you crouch to the back, jump, and then press forward while sprinting, of course, and it'll pretty much do the head hitter jump for you a lot more consistently than regular head hitters, which have the disadvantage of being dictated by ticks, which sometimes there's a whole like logic behind it. I can't remember what it is, but there we go. And with this one, you kind of also want to be careful not to move too far to the edge that way. This one you will have to head hitter normally, but I recommend moving it slightly outwards, but don't move too far outwards because then you'll fall off even if you're crouching and be booted back to the start, which is always But even if you biff it like a little bit, like I did right there, you can for the most part save it, even if it, oh my gosh, it's so heartbreaking. It's not heartbreaking that it boots you all the way back to floor 1, but head hitter timings are definitely something you'll want to learn for this section of the parkour. Pessi this again. It's a really useful strat, especially when you're like me and currently like really cooked and your reflexes aren't what they should be. It takes away a bit of the responsibility off your hands to do complicated head hitter jumps. Back to where we started. Watch out for that. And there we go. And hit crouch as soon as you can with this, because that's going to be tricky. Oh, that was too close for comfort. There we go. It's relatively free. You do want to run up for that one. It's also kind of free, but you also want to hit hitter that as late as possible. And just like that, with this section, you're done with floor 2. Now this one. Not this block again. Not this block again. I'm just getting, flashbacks from Rankup 4, but with this kind of a jump, it's pretty intuitive. It's a lot. It requires a bit of precise lineup, but it's, however scary it might look, and even to me now, it's still scary. You want to target the corner because the edges will be, like the iron bars on the edges will mess you up. It looks deceptive, but it's actually not that tricky once you get it. However, there we go. That's the tricky part. It's lining it up visually. And this one is again. Oh, so yeah, these ones, they're straightforward, but they're very, very precise in how you have to land them and the tick timings for them. This one's pretty straightforward. Into floor 3, you just climb up on these ladders and you're at floor 3. And floor 3, you start off with this section. You want to watch out for that hole. Oh, and by the way, the sky on this rank up is considerably easier than the rank up from the previous ones. So, it's good to know that that's relatively free. So you can chain this if you get good enough. I'm still working on getting that. But you do want to, chain these jumps as much as you can. I'll enlighten you to something that I've learned as I've progress to these parkour courses, like right there, like right here. So what I do is I max Pessi, and then you can effectively run it for a good portion of the section. So the trick with this one is to do max Pessi and then hold it for another jump and then let go of space, and it'll keep you going, kind of like this. Let me show you. And see, it'll carry you all the way to the edge. So you just need to be able to hit the crouch in time to get the full benefit of, lazier parkour. This one we will have to normally head hitter it. We'll have to, We can use Pessy, just any kind of regular Pessy for that jump. This one's just a matter of tick timings. I'll be right back. So then we jump to that section, and then we're going to want to run this entire gauntlet. This one's pretty easy, just lining up the corners. So just line this up here as well. And this is a tricky section. Even then, it's still, you know, like this looks scary, but it's highly unlikely that you'll get booted all the way to the back. But what you want to do is something either burst head hitter, which I don't know how to do, or, you know, you want to line this kind of a thing up, where you kind of line yourself up like this, and like that. It's a matter of getting that timing in. I'd rather work on that kind of a timing. I basically just sneak up all the way to the corner, press W, and then space. Like, to me, that's a pretty reliable timing that you can do. And even if you know, fluke it like that, or don't make it, you can, for the most part, either catch yourself on the going down. As you can see, even the biggest gap will only really boot you back to floor 2, meaning that only some of your progress is lost. You want to jump a little bit later than you're expecting, but not too late, you know? Like that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of intuition. This one's, again, you want to sneak off that way so that you don't hit your head on the top block. But yeah, this sky is a lot more free than the other sky because, again, it isn't just that annoying, disgusting block. So, you know, that's very kind and helpful of these parkour builders. Even then, sky is always stressful in some way or form. In that case, I think I might have overshot it. But, yeah, that's Rankup 5. Look at that. That was another episode of Rankup, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, stick around. I'll continue working on these rank ups, even though I'm a noob. I'm very excited to, you know, continue working on these rank ups and getting better with parkour and showcasing some of the other rank ups that, you know, exist on these other servers in parkour and whatnot. I've seen that some people are interested in me watching me do the JumpCraft rank ups, which, you know, they're a more modern standard for parkour. It's pretty cool. I've done up to 4 myself. I'm currently working on rank up number 5. But if you guys want to check out the videos, I'll probably have a video of the JumpCraft rank ups out pretty soon. And we'll see what comes of it. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. That's it. I'm installing my fly hacks for this. It's time to bring up the macro.